Tiny Whiny Tea Time. Me gusta.
Welcome back. This is the second half of Time Whiny Tea Time. And yeah, we're gonna talk a little more Doctor Who. We're gonna talk about some classic Who, the Ark in Space. And by the way, for those that were tuning in live, I found the cat. I found Blue. She was hiding under the covers on the this is the man cave / studio / nap room. Because anywhere else in the house, I probably won't get any kind of silence and quiet time, right, Blue? It's a little chilly, so she's looking for that warmth. She might end up jumping on me during the show, but all right, a little sip of the drink here. So let's talk about Ark in Space. So we talked about how this is from the 12th season of Classic Who. Oh gosh, I don't remember how many seasons there were in Classic Who. I want to say at least 24. And then that led into the Paul McGann movie thing. So it started in 62, 63. And then the Paul McGann was 92-ish. I mean, there were little breaks in between. So let's say it's like 30 seasons or so. I don't know. But it's 50 plus years of Doctor Who, but not that many seasons. Let's just say that. 12 seasons, so this is significantly into it. This is the fourth Doctor. But, you know, what's more important than that is the fact that this is when we start to see more of a transition of the Doctor. Because in the fourth Doctor's premiere season, we saw a more stoic, or at least rather serious Doctor, and he became more lighthearted as he progressed and kind of owned the role. And I think that was as much a Tom Baker decision as it was the showrunner at the time, or the showrunners at the time. So that works out really well, because what ends up happening, a big thing with Tom Baker, you know, in the fourth Doctor, is that we start breaking away from the unit storylines. The Doctor still loves Earth, but he realizes that he's kind of becoming an employee to the unit guys, and he decides that he just doesn't want to, you know, be kind of a slave to them. So he just runs off and becomes more rebellious. You know, that's what he left Gallifrey, and are they really playing loud music in the background here? Hold on a second. My family has absolutely no sense. They know that I'm doing a podcast right now. Anyway, we'll just keep going. Gotta love the consideration of family. It's very distracting. I'm just hearing our I don't know if you guys will hear it. It doesn't seem to be picking up. It's like, that's why there's headphones. Hold on, let me. I know they hear me. I'm doing a podcast. That's like super loud. Alright. Moving on. It's very distracting. So, where were we? So yeah, it's important just that we start to see a more, and now the doctor barks. The dog barks. Nah, I wish it was the doctor. Blue, can you go get him? Tell everybody to stop being silly. We were making such good pace. Not even an hour into the recording, and then we get these crazy hiccups. She's just blinking at me like, I don't know. I just want to sleep. All right, so let's get into it. I'm gonna try to wrap this up quicker than I thought because this is just crazy. I'm gonna give my family a stern talking to. Now, while the Doctor and Harry are distracted by some automated defense system, kind of death ray, it's like almost like a mini Dalek mounted to the ceiling of a room. Sarah's transported to an automated facility where human beings are being put into suspended animation. Or actually, they're not being put, they're already in suspended animation. The ship turns out to be a lifeboat, an ark in space, literally. And it's designed to carry the chosen few of humanity from an Earth that was supposedly destroyed by violent solar flares. The Doctor marvels at humanity's determination and ingenuity, but they have a problem. They may not be able to resuscitate Sarah Jane. Ooh, that's rough. So the crew begins to awake with the Doctor's assistance. First, a medical officer, then the leader, Noah, who contemptuously calls the Doctor and his companions regressives. A little bit of Peter Capaldi style salt right there. Commander Noah and the Doctor have a strange conversation as the Doctor attempts to repair the ship's solar something. Then Noah shoots. Noah shoots the Doctor. So that's interesting. I think it was their solar array or generator or something like that, because they were having power issues. So only like their main systems were powered up, but I guess life supports the subsystem. Interesting, but anyway, mind you, I think they've been floating in space for hundreds, if not thousands of years. I forget how much time actually progressed. They do mention it somewhere in there. But some interesting problems are hinted at this story, in this story rather. Genetic selection of the humans on the Ark, genocide of the Wern, and solar flare. None of which is solved by the Doctor, by the way. It's as if the writers invite us to contemplate these problems and come up with hopefully better, beautiful solutions on our own. And see, that's good. Like, I think when they don't overdo the build-up, they don't overdo these things and let us come up with our own conclusions, that's great. But when they build things up really hard and then they don't give us a satisfying payoff, that's bad. Such imitations perhaps is one of the things that makes great science fiction great. The writers don't tell us how much, or how to think about these things. They don't give us solutions. They don't handhold. They don't spoon feed us. What they do is that they state these problems and leave us to our own thinky thoughts, and that's lovely. I think that's wonderful. Doctor Who has been known to be quite good at that, and that's why I'm a big fan. Now, Stan had noted that some of the things were very close to the thinking thoughts that he's thinking and we are thinking today, specifically racism, ecology, and space weather, or just weather problems in general, really. Noah's contempt for regressive reminds us, of our own struggle about racial issues, justice and human rights, as young protesters are marching on American streets, after the failed indictments of the police officer that murdered Michael Brown, Eric Garner, and others. Now, I've shared my own personal thoughts on that. I know Stan feels very strongly about that, but I think, I agree. Injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. But I think people are looking at those kind of issues the wrong way. Instead of looking at it as human issues, they're looking at them as race issues, and that's the real thing. Because I wonder, would it be such a big people actually have a notion about reverse racism. Why is that a thing? No, racism can happen to anyone anyway, and the ubiquitous white people race is becoming the minority in the United States, and across the world. So it's just funny, like, when people say things like reverse racism, like, well, racism can happen against any kind of race. There's bigots in all walks of life against all walks of life. But it's interesting that even back then we have this kind of discussion of issues. And another thing is that considering, even in the 70s, women still kind of struggled with having powerful roles or any kind of control or decision-making power, right? Or any kind of real freedom, really. And Sarah Jane Smith is a very strong character who is not just an add-on or a decoration for the Doctor. She really, they work in tandem, and he doesn't treat her like an inferior being or a regressive, as Commander Noah would say. So that's very important to note. So they're even tackling the issues of feminism here, which is interesting because there is a part. I'm kind of jumping ahead, but there's a part where a woman is put in power instead of Noah, and she's kind of shocked by it to an extent. Even though she already has a pretty high-ranking position, she's almost like shocked by that. I guess even in the future, there's a lot of social casting. But anywho, unlike the context of the arc in space, we are not making explicit decisions about who gets to live or die, but our society is making indirect decisions about the privileges according to the different groups. Those privileges include opportunity, education, health, and justice. Now, Doctor Who doesn't go quite that deep, but it does always touch upon the tension that exists between different groups. You know, and that's whenever you have aliens, that's kind of one of the themes that you'll always see. But Doctor Who is particularly good at being kind of timeless in that aspect, because these are issues that are still relevant to us today, and probably always will be. Because unfortunately, what ends up happening is when justice is served for one group, another group is injustice, and then the scales are tipped. You know, and I think what people need to really realize is compassion and forgiveness. You know, love. Do those things as a whole, and you'll have a fix that's not just a band-aid. So anywho, let's go back to the destruction of worms' breeding grounds by human colonists. It's a problem closer to home, but even a problem that's even closer to home to us is the death of pollinators from our abuse of pesticides, industrial farming practices, and then introduction of GMO crops. So it's getting very real if you think about this. These are things that are happening with all these chemicals we're using. You know, we're killing off the pollinators to help us grow crops, and you know, without those pollinators, we face the risk of food shortages, famine, and rising costs of food, which we're already kind of seeing some of that. Gas costs have gone down, but food increasingly goes up. I mean, right now, I'll be honest, we don't have much food in our house, and we're kind of just rationing everything out, and it's rough, you know, because the food cost has gone up so much, and and everything else along with it that happens with that. It's a chain reaction. It's a very serious problem, a very big risk. Unlike this arc in space scenario, it's not an us or them situation. It's an us and them situation. We must ensure their survival, or we put our own survival at high risk if they die off. So, you know, the pollinators, we got to give them some love. Now, mind you guys, a lot of this stuff was stuff that Stan and I have worked on together. So I'm reading these talking points. I'm trying to put in a voice that makes sense, because this really was supposed to be a two-person episode. And this was supposed to be the lost episode of TWTT. This was supposed to be actually episode 15. But I decided to go ahead and do it solo, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. But just wrapping up the discussion of arc in space rather. You want to say time? I don't know why. You know, we're just beginning to understand that the sun is more relevant to our life and hopes that we had imagined. You know, climate change, catastrophic earthquakes, and global communication interruptions, in fact, may be driven by more by solar events than pollution and human error. And some scientists are suggesting that the sun may be entering a lower state of activity, which they believe occurs on a 300 to 400 year cycle. It's called a solar minimum. And I can kind of see it by the bitter colds we've been having, even down south. And if scientists are correct, we will be entering a period of extreme weather cycles for the next 50 years. And these cycles would be characterized in general by colder and longer winters, which could threaten agriculture, food prices, and the poor. So, you know, I wonder, like, when you see this stuff that they're doing Doctor Who, it's a simple story. Did they see, like, the writing on the wall? Possibly. But that's what we wrote down in the script. But this is what I feel prompted to share. I mean, those are all very important issues. But just talking about this episode, the arc in space, I love that. You know, I love the part where the commander Noah becomes an alien. He gets assimilated, kind of Borg-like, Star Trek kind of thing going on there. But his humanity's still kind of peeking through. And the Doctor tries at every step to kind of negotiate with them, but they're hard-headed, so they don't want to listen. I don't want to spoil the ending, but it's a very satisfying ending. And it's just really neat how the Doctor, I believe it was the Doctor and Sarah Jane that kind of say, hey, you know, and I don't remember if Harry was in this scene. I forget. Probably should have watched it again before the show. It's just been a busy time, folks. But let's just say that the Doctor Who team, the Doctor team, appointed, what was her name? The science officer, I think. I forget what her name was, but she ended up becoming the commander, the leader of the Ark. Angel of Decay, good morning. How you doing? We're just talking a little Doctor Who, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But we're about to talk about some of the stuff going on with the Awesome Games Done Quick. So sit tight if Doctor Who's not your thing. But anyway, this is cool. Like that they explored that issue of having women in more powerful, prominent positions. You know, that's something that's still like a more contemporary thing. Even in the 80s, you know, and most of the 90s, you didn't really see women in high positions of power in corporations or anything. Like it's really become more of a modern thing. So when people talk about, you know, feminist issues and whatnot, you know, we've really come a long way, a lot further than people realize. And that's a good place to be, but there's always room for improvement, right? But again, I wanna invite you, if you've never seen Doctor Who, or you like more of the lighthearted, family-friendly kind of storylines, you should check out the Angels of the Cage just come here and go to say good morning, or it might have thing that updating. The viewer list doesn't always update, but you know, Sarah Jane Adventures is a nice way to get into the series, or to just enjoy those family-friendly storylines that we don't always get in the regular Doctor Who stuff. So I definitely recommend it. If you get past some of the campiness, it's actually very fun. If you like good sci-fi romps, fun adventures in science fiction, Sarah Jane Adventures definitely lives up to its name. And I say it's worth a look, even if you're not a kid. They also have another spin-off series, the K9 something, I forget what it's called. K9 Files, maybe? K9 and Friends. That's a lot more kid-oriented, and I don't know how good that would be. I still need to kind of get my hands on that and see how it is. But this is great. This is Russell T Davies doing what Russell T Davies did on Doctor Who, you know, 2005 and onward. So, really good stuff. Now, on the flip side, when you look at Torchwood, it's the darker side of the Doctor Who universe. So this is the more lighthearted, family-friendly stuff. So it depends what you like. Torchwood is great, but if you get offended easily, especially if you're like homophobic, yeah, you may not want to watch Torchwood. And I'm not, you know, whatever you feel on that, that's your own personal business. But that is a thing. And there is some homoeroticism in Torchwood that may be off-putting to some people. In the chat over on All Games, we somehow went into a conversation about origami, because they were talking about paper stacking. Someone asked, "What is Lotus 123?" And someone else said, "It's a program businessmen use to make business." What kind of business? Money stacking, paper getting. And I just kind of laugh at that. And then someone else says, "So cheddar making? Can I make cheddar? Sharp cheddar." This is a really good conversation here. This is kind of banter that happens. If you like banter, this is a good place to go. Had nothing to do with what we're talking about, but it's funny, and I thought I'd share anyway. So then I say origami's OP. Say origami don't get me the women. Then again, I never tried origami, so maybe you should. There's origami and there's the other one. What's the one that where you don't fold? Is you get cheat and you can make cuts. I don't remember now. Something gami. I don't know. So anyway, starting to wrap up the show. So we're just gonna we're actually well ahead of the schedule. So I just kind of want to give you guys an opportunity to, share anything you want to share. Whether it's Doctor Who, maybe another science fiction show you're enjoying, a video game you're playing. I do want to say I am doing a Retro Friday series, hashtag Retro Friday. Check that out. We do Retro Friday pretty much every Friday, late night, starting at 10 p.m. on Friday, sometimes midnight on Friday, which technically is Saturday. And sometimes it goes out throughout the weekend. I'm not much of a completionist myself, but we're going to start doing not speed runs, maybe fast walks or slow walks, where we'll just race amateur style, casual style, and play different games, see who can beat it first or get furthest in the game within a time period. That'll be something, and that could be part of the Retro Friday hype. But I am working on Secret of Mana. I think this time I'm really down to like the last 4 or 5 hours. I keep saying that every time the last 3 videos I said that, but I'm really think I am done with that. And it's interesting because this starts off as a very fantasy story, and then all of a sudden it gets science fiction-y. Because there's robots and like a train ride. And I'm like, well, that's kind of breaking the fourth wall because trains don't really fit in here. But sure, why not? It's a very interesting game. I have a love-hate relationship. I really love it, and sometimes I really hate it because the mechanics, the user experience, the controls, they're clunky, and there's some game mechanics in there that are very off-putting. So make sure you tune in for that. I'll probably finish that out tonight if you're watching it live. This January 10th, 2015. Still getting used to 2015. It's gonna take a little while before it feels right. Outside of that, has anybody been playing anything good? Anybody been playing with some fun tech? Watching any good shows? Not much on TV. I know Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. just came back. I need to catch up with that. What else? I think, Star Wars Rebels came back. That's all I know of. And there's still quite a lot of time before Doctor Who comes back and The Walking Dead comes back. So, we might explore some. There's still be some more classic Doctor Who. I think I'm kind of getting back in the anime kick, so I might be sharing some anime with you guys. There's some random. I might try to watch some random anime OVAs or whatever and see and share those with you, or some short series, or just revisiting some of my favorite series. Which right now Naruto is one of my favorite series of all time. I know it's a little cliche, but I just love Naruto. And Fairy Tail, that's fun. Soul Eater. It's a great, shorter series that you could marathon watch, I think, fairly reasonably. Great show, and it's coming back. I just found out that some of the characters from the first series are coming back older, and they're going to be teachers and help the new Reapers claim souls. So that's really cool. Stuff like that gets me excited. One Piece is still running. It's hit or miss. She the Pack Leader 123. Welcome. And we're having a lot of people come in and out here. Now, I hope when people see the overlay, they get a quick hint that this is mainly a Doctor Who show. And you know what? I forgot. I'm on a backup computer, and the slightly risque bra shots are back in the slideshow. Hopefully, people won't get too offended by that. I mean, it's not a big deal. They're not showing anything. I know it's not very family friendly, but there's far worse stuff out there on the internet. The internet, ugh. Unless you live under a rock, it's hard to avoid all the truly big garbage that's out there. But that's another rant. So yeah, video games. I don't want to get into the anime. I'll go deep on the anime talk. So not much on TV, not much on video games. I haven't watched many movies. One of the last things that I watched as far as movies that are science fiction, just to bring it back to what we usually talk about here, was Snowpiercer. Actually, that was pretty good. I finally saw though Sunshine, and that was really good. I really enjoyed that. That was such a great psychological science fiction, almost thriller type thing. It had a lot of good elements in there. Great set pieces and great actors playing wonderful characters. It was just wonderful all around. So Sunshine, Snowpiercer, and I saw, what was the big one everybody was talking about? Interstellar. That one's a little long. Some might say it's long-winded, perhaps drawn out, but I enjoyed it as well. It was a different kind of thing though. Not quite what you expect. Who's in there? Is it Anne Hathaway? Yeah, Anne Hathaway is in there. Who I think is a total doll. I think she's just a cutie. She plays a real annoying character in this. And then we have Michael McConaughey, who I also love. Yeah, there's some other people in there. But it's an interesting story that starts off as a very grounded story, and all of a sudden it becomes a space opera. That's all I'm going to tell you. And it's about 3 hours long. So there's some movie recommendations if you want a good sci-fi fix. You know, there isn't that much good sci-fi stuff out there. But video game-wise, let's talk about that. I've been playing Dungeon of the Endless. Oh, so good. FTL, always a good game to come back to. I'm just trying to think for sci-fi stuff mainly. That's really the main science fiction kind of stuff. Have there been other games? I've been playing a lot of stuff. I've been playing Valdez Story, Abyssal City, which is a nice kind of like Metroidvania style game, Mega Man style game. Really cool game. A little treat that a lot of people probably missed. People will miss this game more than they miss Shovel Knight, because Shovel Knight's actually getting a lot of hype now, which I'm happy to hear. And that's another game I've been playing more of lately and streaming. So you can see me play all these games at twitch.tv/YogiZilla and Geeky Antics as well. And then I also try to get the YouTube videos up on the respective channels, YogiZilla and Geeky Antics on YouTube. That's youtube.com/YogiZilla, youtube.com/Geeky Antics. Try to cover all the bases. What else? Yeah, lots of good. When we talk about Dungeon of the Endless, the reason I really love that game, well, Risk of Rain is kind of science fiction, so it's a little more fantasy. Ryan279, how's it going? Welcome to the show. I have to type in there because the delay, the 15-second, the lowest I've ever gotten the delay, because mandatory, is like 15 seconds, but usually it's like a 20-30 second delay minimum, and it's been worse ever since Switch has supported Xbox One and PS4. But yeah, if you guys couldn't tell, I'm a big video game guy, and one of the biggest treats I found this year, well, really last year, two of them were Valdez Story, Abyssal City, and what's the other one? Dungeon of the Endless. Now, Dungeon of the Endless is very special because it combines roguelike with tactics game, kind of turn-based strategy, and tower defense. And you know what? Dungeon crawler. Why not? So randomized environments, permadeath. You do get to build a party of a maximum of 4 people. There is an option to play with 3 other people online. I haven't done that yet. That'd probably be awesome, because then you can focus on the micromanagement rather than the macromanagement. Suddenly it becomes more of a action game than a turn-based strategy or tactics game. But it's really freaking awesome, because the whole thing is you got to explore rooms. The rooms can have anything: traps, an enemy ambush, treasure. You get to craft stuff, build towers, upgrade your tech. It's crazy, and I'm actually on a really good run right now. I'm up to floor 8, I think, and there's 12 floors total. Now the thing is, this game has high replay value because the floors are completely randomized. So every time you do a run in it, it's completely different, and you can change difficulty as well. So I highly recommend it. That's a game that you probably want to check out if you want something. If you're just tired of the same old stuff in gaming, this is something that I think you'll find to be a wonderful, wonderful treat. And that's Dungeon of the Endless. Most of these games are Steam games. Though, as much as I love Steam, sometimes if you have a rig and you want to stream, you have a rig that plays games on high quality or ultra, but you can't really stream that well, you may want to try to get the DRM-free versions of the games, because Steam, I hate to say it, does lag. It tries to update the games, and it has the little overlay, which you could disable, sure. But then it's just the games, since they have the DRM, they tend to be a little more clunky. Like FTL is one of the worst. FTL is a game that's so simple, but on certain systems, I've seen it lag pretty bad. And when I play the DRM-free version of FTL versus the Steam version, I can even notice the difference. I get almost twice the frame rate on the DRM-free version. That's crazy. By the way, that's me just catching up on some real talk here. I think we'll start wrapping this up. This would be one of our shortest show ever. So the first half would be like 45, 50 minutes or so, and the second half would be like 30 minutes. That's doable. So we went about an hour and a half, maybe a little less than that. Awesome. I'll take that. But there's no point in stretching it out. So we got a little bit of everything. Recommended some Doctor Who, classic Doctor Who, about some video games, some movies, and some of the stuff that you might be able to catch on television. Everything on television is on break, which I'm okay with that, because television is evil. Like, I try to avoid it because once you get into a show, it's hard to get out of it. Like, I got back into Supernatural, and now I'm like, I want to know what happens next. That had ended on a cliffhanger. Arrow ended on a cliffhanger. And listen, there's been almost no, bare chest Oliver in this season. It's actually been real content and not just, hi, look at his abs and his nipples. Something the pandering is a little too heavily thrown in. It's just pointless, wasting time with him just working out half naked. Anyway, that's my little rant. It's just, the double standards are real, people, and not by me, not by this guy, but other people I know. That's all I'm saying. So guys, TWTT can be enjoyed wherever fantastic, beautiful podcasts can be found, including, but not limited to, Stitcher, iTunes, Zune, TuneIn Radio, and Spreaker. And thanks to Casturberus, the Doctor of the Dead, Who's Talking, Trenzalore Tomb, the AGDQ folks, Speed Demos Archives, all the wonderful people that are supporting what we're doing and are doing wonderful things and spreading geekdom far and wide. BFT says, you love it. Oh yeah, I secretly do. I really do. I'm fine with it just because you see that and people can say, oh, look, that woman's wearing something very skimpy. Well, he's half naked half the time. But I hate the fact that people don't say anything about that, but they complain about someone wearing a tight dress or showing a little cleavage. It's like, well, you got to talk about all the issues. Women objectify men just as much as men objectify women. Hashtag real talk. I do want to recommend, I do want to invite you guys again, if you like the video game stuff. I'm looking for co-hosts. I'm looking for people to join our Twitch stream team. I'm looking for people to do articles. If it's not, I don't even care if they're original content. If you have your own site and you want to just reblog it and get a link back to your site, hey, let's do that. So just drop me a line. I'm at YogiZilla. I'm YogiZilla pretty much everywhere. I'm actually hankering to get back on the console front, so I might be getting back on Xbox 360. The next gen, the current gen, I'm kind of avoiding for now. Nothing really compelling for me right now on either PS4 or the Xbox One. We use a little tempting because it'll be different, but the accessories in that's the hidden cost in that system. So I'm sticking to PC and 360 for now. Unless some massive donations come through and I'm able to like upgrade my rig, catch up with bills, and do some of the giveaways and big events that I've been meaning to do here on Geeky Antics. First things first, right? Toys have to wait. Toys are fun, but they're not necessary. Upgrading the rig though is important because I want to bring you guys more quality video, audio, streams, you know, and do some cooler stuff. So stay tuned for that. And Blue Cam eventually needs to be a thing. So yeah, Retro Friday. Again, if you like the gaming, hashtag Retro Friday, check that out. And well, I'm doing the Secret of Mana, finishing it up, and we're gonna do some pseudo speedruns, some casual, amateur races and game clubs. I'm a non-completionist, and I know there's other people out there that are non-completionists, that either the game isn't that good enough to play all the way through, or it's just that hard. And I don't think it's fair to say, hey, before you could join us on this podcast or on the live show or for this game club, you need to finish it all the way through. So I like to do something where we just have a fun, casual race and a game club and see how far everyone gets and everybody can share their experiences. CFCJB, how's it going? PS3? No, I don't have PS3. But BFT has PS3, I believe. And we have a bunch of people on our network that have PS3. Janelle No 5 has it. If you go to, I'll put the link in the chat here, geekyantics.net/stream-team. You can see some of the folks that stream and do PS3, PS4, and all that stuff. I'm more of an Xbox guy and PC. Now, there's tons of stuff we can play on PC, and if you do PC, we do Steam giveaways. So yeah, there you go, BFT 9000. Make sure you give him a follow. He's a good guy. Lately, he's been giving me a lot of sass. That's how we know we're becoming better friends, because he's been trolling me hard. That's what friends do. They give you crap, but I appreciate him. He's a good guy, and I have love for him. You know, he's come through for us, and he's gifted me games that I unfortunately can't play yet because I'm on a backup rig, but hopefully soon that will change. Greetings from Dergamero or Derjamero. I'm probably completely killing it. He says, greets from Germany. Well, welcome. Welcome. Oh, you have an iMac. There's some games that play cross-platform on Steam. There's a few of them. I think Mercenary Kings might be one of them. And it had multiplayer. And the Blizzard games, Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm. By the way, guys, big news. I want to mention that make sure you're opted in on Battle.net for Blizzard alphas and betas, because Heroes of the Storm is finishing the alpha soon. They'll be entering beta soon. That means they're going to be inviting a lot more people. It'll be a closed beta, so make sure you're opted in. I love to play with you guys. And if you are on Battle.net, my name on there, my battle tag is Yogizilla pound or hashtag 1722. So add me on Battle.net and we could play some Hearthstone or whatever together. But I am wrapping up the show. I'm going to be hosting Games Done Quick after this, and then later on I'll be streaming some more Retro Fridays type stuff. And then probably do some viewer requests. I'll give you guys a few games to choose from. Probably a little more Magic, because I'm doing some of the challenges on there. And you sound like a nice guy. Well, you do sound like a nice guy. Oh, I sound like a nice guy. I think, do you sound like a nice guy? Okay, I'll take your word for it. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I do think I'm one of the nicer streamers. And I get it. The people that get big, it's hard to interact with people one-on-one. But I do try to, you know, give everybody love. Now, usually, by the way, if you guys donate or follow us, there'll be a live notification on the channel. Well, thanks for the follow, CF. Definitely appreciate that. But since this is a podcast and we actually put this on iTunes and Stitcher, I don't want to have that many interruptions. BFT is also on Battle.net. He says his battle tag is BFT 9000. That's 9000. And then it's the number part, the pound sign is 1892. And he's BFT9000 everywhere. So, we're both easy to follow. I'm YogiZilla everywhere. So also, I want you guys to give some love. If you love video games, allgames.com is the network about video games. It has a database of every video game practically ever made. And it's also about what gamers talk about. So you can join us live on allgames.com on Saturdays at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. in London, and 7 p.m. in Bucharest, and I believe 4 p.m. in Madrid, Spain. Woohoo! Latino love. Just go to allgames.com. The chat's there in the front page is making it even easier for you. Or you can just click on the live chat button. Though it might change sometimes. Sometimes it says listen, but there'll be a chat room in there as well. Our official website for Time and Whammy Tea Time and our other live streams and podcasts and events is geekyantics.net. Please tell your friends about that. I definitely appreciate it. We're growing very well. I'm surprised actually we got so many people on YouTube. So now I'm gonna try to make more YouTube videos. And if you're interested in getting some of your stuff featured, you want to put some highlights on our on our YouTube, or do some stuff on Twitch, simulcast, dualcast, whatever you want to do. We're always looking to collaborate with people, not just Twitch streamers and YouTubers, but also if you're a writer, if you're a journalist, a graphic designer. We're looking for people to do affiliate marketing with. So if you have services you offer, we'll do something where we'll charge a referral fee for finding you customers, different stuff like that, and there'll be free collaborations too. So lots of ways to work with us. Go to geekyantics.net. It's geekyantics.net, and there's a forums there and in the comments on there. CF asks, do you recommend the Trident mix? Because I just ordered it. Trident is good. They make good stuff. Matter of fact, I think Trident right now might be better on the quality, the build quality, than Turtle Beach. Turtle Beach's build quality for their accessory has gone down a lot. I'm very disappointed with them. Razer is also kind of hit or miss too. Trident makes good stuff. I actually, if I get the next headset I get, gaming headset I get, will be one that will work on PC and console, and it's called the Sharkoon, and it has a breakout box, a little mixer built in, and a remote to adjust sound levels and stuff. And it has all kinds of inputs: optical, coax, anything you could want. It's all in there. The Sharkoon Ecstatics Pro, or I forget what it's called, or the SR. Oh, you meant Mike? Okay. Oh yeah, Trident Mix, I haven't heard of that, but Trident makes good stuff. Okay, Trident Mic, yeah, Trident's good, definitely. Right now, if I have to do it all over again, I have a Turtle Beach and I like it, but if I had to do it all over again, I'd go with Sharkoon, maybe Steel Series, or Trident. Turtle Beach, I think, is overpriced and the build quality is a little questionable. But hey, who knows? We might get sponsored by them and have to eat our words. They make good stuff. Cool. Yeah, I'll be back on later on this afternoon for sure. So yeah, Geeky Answers on that. Make sure you create an account on there, and you can actually earn points, unlock achievements. Soon we'll have badges. That's another thing we'll do in the future. Yeah, lots of stuff to do there. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, hang out with us on Geeky Antics. If you listen to us on the podcast feed on iTunes, Stitcher, Zune, wherever you are, hello. Geeky Antics is on twitch.tv/Geeky Antics. We're on geekyantics.net, and we've been streaming more live shows and gameplay videos, and there'll be a lot more. We're also on YouTube, youtube.com/Geeky Antics. Again, I'm YogiZilla everywhere. Our Twitch stream team has expanded big time. We want to get more people. We want to get close to getting 24/7 content, because eventually we want to do a 24-hour radio station with podcasts and maybe some game commentary and all kinds of fun stuff, and royalty-free music to keep people happy. So if you're interested in joining that effort, let us know. CF says you have good advice. See you next time. So he appreciates the advice. Hey, anytime. I love talking tech, even when I'm streaming games. Doing podcasts is a little harder. I got to work into the show. But during regular streams, definitely, I'm all about the conversation. CF also said that he plays with some pro gamers on the console, so he knows all about the salt. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta work. There's something you just gotta be careful and be ready for it. I think any kind of geeky thing where there's a lot of passion, you're gonna find salt. You're gonna find trolls. The gaming industry gets a lot of flack, but it's grown rapidly, faster than television and the movie spaces have and other creative spaces. So it's to be expected there's gonna be some growing pains because it's grown so fast. So fast that there's actors that do traditional stuff that are doing voice acting for games because they realize this is the place that they need to be. This is where the money's shifting. This is where the audience is shifting. And it's only going to get bigger. There might be a bit of a crash before then if people keep doing silly things like Ubisoft, doing major franchises, releasing 3 to 4 games in a major franchise in a year. That's ridiculous. Yes, Assassin's Creed, I like you. You're a good game. I love the series. But gosh, give people time to catch up and enjoy the games. That's one thing that's different. And that's why I kind of appreciate the speedrun community because they're all about replay value and getting the most out of a game. And that's awesome. I could totally get behind that. I don't want to get to a point where I play games so much I get sick of it and end up hating a game that I love. And I don't have that kind of time. I'm a family man. I'm a daddy streamer, as they call, I guess. And one of the few. Not that many of us out there. So I have to juggle work, family, and all that stuff. I don't have the time to commit to that kind of perfection. And I'm just not competitive enough. I really ain't. Maybe back in the days I was, but not now. I enjoy just having a good time, hanging out with friends. If I stream it or record it for YouTube, you guys get to enjoy some epic fails. Speaking of some of the stuff I'll be streaming, again, Secret of Mana, a lot of retro stuff. I've been big on the 8-bit and 16-bit stuff lately. I'm going to try to do some MAME, some arcade classics, so try to get you guys Darkstalkers, maybe some Sega Saturn stuff to get that working. Oh, God, I really hope so. I want to play Panzer Dragoon Saga and Dragon Force, 2 games that if you've never seen, they are fantastic and easily top 10 best games ever made in my book. But anyway, let me wrap this up before I get any more into video games. Appreciate you guys joining us here at Timing Might Be Tea Time. And I hear my family getting loud, so my timing is of the essence here. You guys have been awesome. It's been great having the new followers. If I didn't get to shout you on the stream, don't worry. Come back later when we start streaming again, and we'll definitely hook you up and give you the proper love and get the hype going. Hype! I'm gonna host Games Done Quick on Twitch.tv. Support them, and I guess I'll see you guys over on their channel. Take it easy and live long and prosper. Yeah, we'll go with that. Peace.
We thank you. Yomar and Stan, thank you. We thank you for every crumb, biscuit and cake you bring to the table. Because Doctor Who belongs to all of us. What you bring to the timey-wimey tea time in your live chat participation, comments, likes, shares, tweets and voicemail, all of it means the world to us. Love, true love never fails. Do you like it? If you like what we're doing, well, tell us for God's sake. Shout it from the rooftops at geekyantics.net or call it in 206 415 4987. That's 206 415 4987. That's it. Bless you. So long. And thanks for all the fish. Hold on, it won't be that long, just a wee while, because the timey-wimey tea time will be back. We'll return next Saturday with fresh insights, questions and epiphanies about Doctor Who. And heck yes, everything geek. Maybe same bat time, absolutely the same bat channel, every Saturday.
Tiny, whiny tea time.
gusta.